Hello, dear biowellers. I'm back to recording the cases into my channel. So today I want to discuss a case from my database just recently scanned and apply the lifestyle approach to the interpretation. Small reminder, we are trying to apply the lifestyle approach when we are doing interpretation on a biowell. It means that instead of going into specific organ or system and like saying, oh, that's the bad guy, the weakest chain, we are trying to find out which sphere of the lifestyle is the most problematic one for a particular person. And it's the free will of the person how to implement changes into this sphere of the lifestyle. We are talking about 6 of them. We are talking about psychology and mindset, regime of the day, sleeping regime, physical activity, nutrition, environmental influence, and the last one is the hormonal sexual activity. So let's try to apply this approach into a real case of a real person. So let's go and take a look into the biowell software and the results of the scans. Here we go. I have scanned this person just 2 times. Only the background reading. I had no time to apply any stress influences and see the reaction of the body. Just the background reading, 2 scans as a let's imagine a regular session with the therapist. So let's take a look what we can see here. First of all, well, let's look at the fingers. Are they all correctly scanned? Yeah, looks fine. 1 scan, 2nd scan. The orientation of the inner ellipse has been corrected in the fingers. All looks good. Let's go to the integral analysis. What we can see here in this case, we can see that the stress level is optimal in both scans. Nothing strange, nothing unusual. It's optimal. But what we see is the heightened energy. It's 64.7, 63.6. So of course, the first idea that should pop up in the mind of any bioweller is calibration. Yes, I have been doing calibration almost before every person that day, but everyone who was scanned in that place had heightened energy. And this was a specific hall, exhibition hall with special energetic like paintings. And it seems like everyone had heightened energy there. Oh, almost everyone. So only 1 person had closer to 60, some people even higher than 70. Whilst if we look into the calibration, it was perfectly done and it was redone multiple times in between every scan. So the reason is not the place and the, not the calibration, but it's the place in which this scan was made. So let's keep it in the mind that overall heightened energy might be not the characteristic of this particular person, but the characteristic of the place. So we should be careful with interpretation of the heightened energies. What we can see else here in systematic approach, we can see that the organs disbalance. We can see that there is a domination of the right hand. Okay, the right hand connected with the left hemisphere of the brain, it means that organism is sending the message that it wants to take rest. It wasn't too late that day, but still it wasn't a working day either. So the organism was sending a message that it wants to take a break, it wants to relax, doesn't want to do anything. And we need to find out why it is like that. So let's look at the particular sectors and organs there. Let's analyze the balance tab. As we can see from both scans that were made, there are 4 sectors that are highlighted in both cases. the pancreas, liver, immune, and nervous system. Whilst the pancreas, immune, and nervous system, in both cases, are having the right hand dominance, whilst the liver is having left hand dominance. So the liver is hyper functioning and excitation is dominating, whilst for the pancreas, immune, and nervous system, it's hypo functioning. Just keeping it in mind at this moment, like there's nothing to say to the client yet. It's just the analysis that we are doing ourselves on the background. Let's look at the overall energy. And as we can see here, the overall energy for the head, the cardiovascular system, and for nervous system is green, and like in this case, an immune system is green, whilst the rest is yellow. We need to remember that we have seen that the overall energy is heightened. So it means if we apply the relative approach, we will see that these organs, these areas, the head area, nervous system, and immune system, are the hyperfunctioning areas for the organism. So it's some kind of a systematic thing. So we need to understand, okay, head area is directly connected, most probably with the sleeping regime, and we will look at it into it more later on. So let's try to do the visual analysis. So from the parametric analysis, we have already several organs and systems in our mind, like the head area, the nervous immune system, the pancreas, and the liver. And we need to, find out who is the bad guy here. So we can go to the visual analysis. If we go here and we look into the normal palette, the regular energy palette, well, yeah, we can see the heightened energy in the lower back. We can see the heightened energy with the breakthroughs in the upper respiratory system. But actually, it's hard to find out what we have seen with the parametric analysis. But if we switch to the contrast palette, we can right away see, for example, this area. The sector of the cerebral zone, the cortex of the cerebral zone. You see that it is much lower intensity than the neighboring sectors. You see the light blue, even red dots here, and almost absence of the light blue and red dots in the area of the cerebral zone. So it means that it has lower energy, lower intensity in comparison with the rest. So, of course, this is something that is directly connected with the sleeping regime. So this is one of the first questions that we should ask the person with such a scan about the sleeping regime. And this person has proved that, yeah, there are issues with the sleeping regime. He usually goes to bed after midnight, sometimes even 2 a.m. So this kind of thing is pretty irregular for the people who are going to sleep very late at night. Then, keeping this in mind, we can also look at the lower back. You see that with the energy palette, yeah, we can see that it's heightened, but it's hard to do to make interpretation. While if we go to the contrast palette, we can see that, yeah, the emission is more porous than the rest of the emission for this person, whilst the intensity is pretty fine. So if we look into the second scan, again, we'll see there are red dots nearby. There's some pores there into like some gaps in the emission. But overall, it's all, like quite intensive, but heightened. So most probably this person has issues with the lower back, but most probably this person is doing some sports, doing some gym, and going to fitness on a regular basis to keep this, like in a high energy level. And well, this person has approved that yes, the issues are there, but he's doing constantly sports. That's good. Okay. So the upper respiratory system with these kind of breakthroughs, as we see here, well, pay attention to the fact that these breakthroughs are the papillary lines, the fingerprint lines on the thumb of this person. You can see these lines, the arches here. So these breakthroughs are not because of the problem in this area, but because of this fingerprint. Um, but overall, heightened energy, heightened emission is still there. Well, it's nothing unusual. We all stay in the closed environment, indoors, too much time. So for most of us, the respiratory system is hyperfunctioning. It's normal. The same with the lower back. Most of us have sitting regime. It's normal. So the brain area is something that we have found out here. So let's take a look at this person from the point of view of doshas. Okay, so we are looking at the dosha that is the most imbalanced. So in both cases, it's vata. So vata energy is most imbalanced, and we can take a look the interpretation here, the elements, what it governs, the movement, breathing, circulation, nerve impulses, and what are the characteristics of imbalance that we see here. And you see anxiety and insomnia here. So again, sleeping regime is there, and this is something that we should discuss with the person first of all. Then okay, we have seen that person has the dominance of the right hand, pretty tired. Secondly, we see that the person is having the problems with the sleeping regime. So these things are directly connected. So most probably by going to bed late at night, this person is not able to recover fully. Of course, it affects the brain function, the cerebral zone, the cortex, and also, well, let's try to find out what's going on the psychological level for this person. If we go to the nervous centers or chakras, it doesn't matter. And we look at the two scans, we can see that in both scans there are two chakras, two centers that are the most imbalanced, the purple one and the orange one. So the orange one is the center that is connected with the work and home. So this person is concentrated on the work and not willing to go home. So answering the question why he is not willing to go home, he says, but there's no one there at my home. There's no sense in hurrying up, returning back home. I would rather stay at work till late. So the dominance is there because there's emptiness in the introvert, in the private life. And so this is one of the main problems for the person at the current moment. And then we can look at the purple one, the approach to solving the problem. So the problem is there, but how will the person solve this problem? And the purple center, the top one, is showing that this person doesn't rely on his own willpower, his own strengths. He is more intending and thinking of that the problems will get resolved themselves. So you just need to wait. So he is not taking any active actions to improve something in his life. He is waiting for the higher powers, whatever, who knows, life to change something in the life. And so that the problems will disappear themselves. But well, we all know that in most of the cases it doesn't work. Time doesn't heal everything, and if the problem and the lifestyle stays the same, the problem will stay there. And if you will not do anything with the private life, it will not appear itself if you will be constantly staying at work till late. So what are the consequences? Okay, we see that the person is staying at work till late, then he goes to the fitness to do the gym, and then he returns back home very late. So asking the question about nutrition. You remember the pancreas and the liver being imbalanced in both of the scans. So it's the nutrition sphere of life. This person has answered that, yeah, well, he is having dinner very late because after the late work, then gym, and then he is having dinner very late. So of course he cannot get sleep after having dinner very late, and then his brain doesn't recover properly, the digestive system doesn't work properly because at the nighttime it doesn't work properly because it's directly connected to the sun power, and at night it's minimum. So you can easily go to the meridians tab and find the time when the, for example, liver meridian, the most imbalanced for this person. For example, so we can see that the time when it should be, like cleaning the intensity of the work, it is doing something else. Instead of if we go to the small intestine and large intestine, for example, where the maximum is the morning hours, so and the evening, it's not even close to maximum, the intensity of its work. And same here for the small intestine here. Now we see that minimum is at the night hours when he is usually eating. So of course, the lifestyle that he's having is not the best one. And you see that it's all interconnected. The problems with the private life doesn't really force him to stop the work at the proper time. Let's try to make conclusions. It takes like 10, 15 minutes to do the full interpretation here in such a case. We can see straight away that all the problems that we have found out are all interconnected. So because of the private life and emptiness in the home, nobody is waiting for him there. He's staying at work till late. He's having late fitness. Then he has very late dinner, supper. And of course, he couldn't get a sleep right after eating because the digestive system doesn't work actively in the evening and night time. So he had to sleep very late. Then next morning, his brain is not so fresh because it didn't recover fully because of the late time when he went to sleep. So of course, the cortex is not functioning well. The immune and nervous systems are not recovered fully. So the dominance of the right hand is also there because he is tired. He's not recovering properly through the night. And it doesn't matter, even if you sleep till the noon, but still it's not so efficient as the evening hours. And also we can see that the nutrition, the digestive system is not working well because he's eating too late. So the pancreas and the liver are showing this constant imbalance. And it's all interconnected. So the recommendations are try to skip the dinner or either not eating anything or eating very few like amount of food, and especially something that is very easily digested and very fast to digest. Secondly, try to get sleep as fast as you can and before midnight at least, so that your brain will recover, your immune and nervous system will recover too. And the most probably like continuing doing exercises is good. So the lower back will not fix itself if you're having sitting regime. But the rest of the things that we have seen is there. So, and again, highlighting the purple nervous center or chakra for these persons, saying that, there is no sense in waiting that these things will change themselves. You have to do it yourself. Trust yourself and do it. The highest power, whatever God you call it, will help you, but you need to act. You need to do something yourself. You need to change the lifestyle. And these are the recommendations that were given. So 15 minutes, maximum 5 minutes were used to do the scan, 15 minutes to do the analysis. In 20 minutes, we were able to analyze the lifestyle of this person pretty fast and efficiently. And we were able to give him pretty valuable recommendations on what are the main problems and the main topics that he needs to consider in changing the lifestyle and becoming healthier and living a happier life henceforth. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this case study is helpful for you. Please put like and subscribe to the channel. It will help more other people to find this material online in this abundance of materials in 21st century. And see you next time. Bye bye.